Hi, I'm Akiva Bamberger. I'm a software engineer at Google, and I have a master's degree in machine learning at Columbia.
Hi, I'm David Luncourt. I'm also a Google engineer, and I've been working for the last 2 years on big data analytics at Google.com.
Great, and what we're presenting today is something called Promptly, and we're pretty excited about it.
So what Promptly is basically it's going to be a smart assistant which will prompt you at the right time about all of your rental needs. And so why did we basically produce Promptly? What is it supposed to do? What we wanted to do is, based on our own experiences using Hertz, and we wanted to minimize the frustration and create the most seamless experience that you could have while renting a car. So we wanted to do things like make it really easy for you to find parking in a city that you're unfamiliar with. We wanted to make it really easy to return your car, understand how much gas you needed to pay, and the associated fees when returning to Hertz. Lastly, we wanted to make it so you could just find the cheapest gas in the area when you're kind of aimlessly exploring during your trip. And so he was actually going to show you a demo about how we do this.
Great, so actually I was thinking what we could do is have you guys actually play with the app, because you can't actually play with it up here. Just make sure to hold it up this way.
Yeah, I have
Can I use this one? Okay. Okay, great. So the app that gets passed around is our Promptly app. Great, so if you can go to...
Okay, are we screwed up? I pushed the wrong button.
You already went to LinkedIn. Okay, so I can show you here. We have a Promptly app here. I'm going to show it to you while David opens it up over there. And the Promptly app is very simple. It lets you have 3 options. You have the home page. I also screwed up. Who's got it?
Okay, here.
Oh, great. So here's the Promptly app. It looks a little bit different on a desktop. But what we have here is we've got what you would have on your phone as you're driving. And we've hooked this up with Ilio. It's actually super powerful. We take the data that comes in, and we actually start to make certain predictions while you're driving. So for example, while you're driving, if you tend to be going at a lower speed limit in an urban area, and you're stopping and starting a lot, we predict that you're probably trying to find parking, especially if you've been circling the same area for a while. And we did that, so we've been playing with the actual cars with Ilio equipped. So David, if you could click on the, well, if you could first click on the prediction thing. Great, so as you're driving, you'll see a little red shadow appear on the find parking. That will notify you that we think that you're trying to find parking. We have an option for that on our dashboard, and if you click on it, we tie in with VoicePark and show you the nearest parking to you. VoicePark actually only has this location in Redwood City. Great, if you go back, we also monitor your fuel levels, and if your fuel levels dip precariously low, if you could, before you click on that. Great, so this is actually going to show you the cheapest gas in your area that you can go to, and this is using Nokia's API. But while you're driving, what we have is, again, another notice that will pop up, and that notice comes from monitoring your fuel levels. Okay, very cool. And finally, we have a return to Hertz option. So the return to Hertz option is actually allowing you to figure out how much do I have to pay when I go to the gas station before I drop off my car at Hertz. I want to only pay the exact amount I need to so I don't end up with any fees from Hertz. So we allow that option here. And this basically finds the closest gas station to you on your way to the closest Hertz. Okay, so these are 3 applications. We wanted to actually tie this in with Neverlost as Neverlost applications. The thing is, Neverlost doesn't have applications that come out like this until version 6, so we built a browser application that's fully functional. We tested this in a car, and actually, this is a video of us driving with the Elio car. And when the Elio car is driving, you can see the fuel levels there. You can also see our speed changing at the bottom. We have a speed monitor. The monitor of the speed is helping us figure out with prediction of whether or not you're trying to park. And you'll see that the red light comes on the parking while we're driving. Nobody's touching any buttons here. It's just coming because of your patterns of driving. So it should be coming up in a moment. There it is. Great, so what is our big idea? So can you go back to the slides, David? Our big idea was first, let's build some really powerful apps for Neverlost. We'd love to bake these apps right into Neverlost, but Neverlost, again, doesn't have those possibilities yet. So what we thought was, how can we take these crude signals coming from Aleo and turn them into smart signals? If you know about the iPhone is basically a box that tells you where touches are, X, Y coordinates. 30 seconds, great. That's not so powerful. But then iOS came out with the idea of swipe, with the idea of pinch, with the idea of zoom. It's the same thing with cars. You've got fuel, you've got speed, you've got all these very crude signals that are coming to you from the car. But there's also more intelligent signals that humans think about, which are, I'm trying to park, I'm lost, or I'm speeding, I'm trying to get somewhere quickly. Or there's other ideas that we can provide to developers so that they can build really smart apps. Great. So these were the apps that we built. They integrate very closely with Nokia, VoicePark, and Hertz. And it's very easy for us to just plug in with other APIs as well as they come and we see it fit. Thank you.
So if you had,
Question?
I'd say, so if you had been given more time, say we're giving you another day, did you guys have other ideas about, so where I park, cheap gas, all that? Do you guys have other ideas
Yeah,
about
we do.
what?
Do you have the other ideas? I think it's actually one further. Oh, we deleted it. Okay, yeah.
What were they?
Great. So other ideas are, for example, if you're wandering, for example, let's say that you're in a place that you've never been before.
Yep.
You're probably going to a place that you've never been before because you're trying to explore. Then we could offer you things like, so this would be for developers again. A developer could say, if the car is in exploration mode, offer them places to eat. Or if a person, for example, is speeding, then offer them a route. Maybe they're speeding somewhere and they don't have anything up on Neverlost that's showing them a route to get there fast. We can suggest a very quick route.
Another idea that we were playing around with, specifically with making your experience parking as best as possible, is if the car can just know that when you start to leave your parking spot, it can actually send a signal to one of our centralized servers, which would then let other people know who have these Aleo devices installed in their cars that they can actually quickly find a spot which just opened up. And so that can actually allow a larger group of people to take advantage of these parking spots opening up.
Two questions for you. You may know there's an app called Waze, W-A-Z,
Sure.
which is crowdsourced traffic. So what would you guys do if we added Waze into this mix? What would you guys do with that kind of information, number one? Number two, abstract out for us in terms of algorithm-based apps in general. What do you see kind of, beyond just the few that you showed us, what else do you think is possible? So Waze and then kind of generalized algorithm-based stuff.
Okay, great, thank you. So if you could tie in with larger crowdsourcing is your question. And one of the things that we did discuss was parking. But if you could tie in with other large crowdsourcing things like with traffic or with recommendation engines like Yelp, then it could be that, again, if you're in this adventurous mode, developers could build apps that tie in with Yelp, that tie in with all this other stuff that are more intelligent.
Yeah, and that actually brings up a great point about exploring places and exploring places that people really like. You can imagine that if someone stops by a location on their way going down some highway and then they really liked Wonderland or something like that, they can like it, and then maybe we can have a service which is aware of what your friends have been liking in these different locations. And so you can actually make it so when your car is passing by this area, it's actually able to suggest you these places which are, in this intelligent fashion that have high ratings and that sort of thing.
Excellent. Thank you, David.